Today we're going to make a ferment which I guarantee you've never heard of, because I've never heard of it until today. We are making Tejuino. So Tejuino is easily one of the most weirdest ferments I've done, just because the process leads to very strange things. For example, it's made with flour. Flour is the key ingredient to it, which is very strange, but you know, it's a weird drink. This drink is pretty much made with corn flour, limes, sugar and water. There's not a lot more. There's a bit more garnishes, a bit more salt that you can add, but other than that, that's pretty much the main ingredients you'll need. So sit back and enjoy while we make a good glass of Tejuino.
Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is weigh out 350 grams of corn flour. Now, I found this on Buy Whole Foods online. However, I'll link some down below because I know it's quite tricky to find. Next, you're going to want to add 300 grams of water to your mixture, and this will pretty much start making your dough for you. Once you've added the water in, you want to start mixing it with your hand and start kneading it like you would bread. You need it to turn a bit doughy. If it's still too runny, add a little bit more flour and it should turn out like this. You want to get it to the point where you can break it apart in your hands without too much wetness being in there. If you have a look here, this is exactly what you should be able to do with it. Now, once you've done this, you want to start tearing off little bits of your dough and putting it into the blender. The idea here is we're going to thin out the mixture so it turns into a liquid. So once you've done this, add a little bit of water to your blender and then blend it until it turns to a thinner consistency. Once you've blended it all together, put it in a jug, put it aside, and then start blending the rest of your mixture. So next you're going to want to get your sugar. You need 500 grams of this. Yes, it's a lot of sugar, but that is tradition. Add your water into the mix and then also add your Tejuino once the sugar has boiled and dissolved. You want to start stirring this together until the consistency starts to match that as a golden syrup. You want it to thicken right up because you're going to need this to set. You're going to need this to harden. Once you've got to that syrupy consistency, you want to cut up 2 limes and start squirting the juices into the pot. Now this should mellow the flavor a little bit and also add that little zinginess of the lime. Now if you see here, this is kind of the consistency you want to get to it. You want to get it a little bit thicker than this. I took it off a bit too early and it did alter the whole thing. Again, you want it to match a kind of consistency like a golden syrup to the point where it's sticking on the spoon, sticking on the sides of the pans. And while you're doing this, you want to make sure that you're stirring, because if you don't stir, it's going to all stick to the bottom and that is not what you want. Okay, once we've done this, you want to pour all of that mixture into a bowl or a container to set. Now here's the fermentation bit. You're going to want to leave this for at least 2 to 3 days. I took it off at 2 days because I needed to, because I had to get this video out to you. But if you leave it a bit longer, it will ideally set to the correct standard. So yeah, we've let that ferment for 2 days. And now what we're going to do is start pouring our mixture into the blender again. As you can see, it has thickened up a bit. It's a bit like a lemon curd here. Now, I know traditionally Tejuino is supposed to be a bit brown in color. However, the corn flour that I used caused it to come out a bit yellow. That is fine. It doesn't matter. Just if you can, try and use the correct corn flour. Now what you want to do is start pouring your mixture into your blender and also add a little bit of water on top of that so that you can thin the mixture out. Now this will make sure that you're not drinking sludge. Once you've done this, cut 2 limes in half because this is how to drink it. We are going to show you how to set up your glass correctly for Tejuino. So once you've cut up your limes, squirt a whole lime into one of the glasses and make sure you put ice in that glass because you need it to be icy. Sprinkle a teaspoon of salt into the glass and pour your Tejuino on top. Once you've done this, give it a good stir around in the glass to make sure you get all of that mixture into the drink. And there you are. This is Tejuino. There's no outro today. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please leave it a like. I really appreciate it. And comment down below what ferment you want to see me do next. But yeah, anyway, happy Tejuining, and I'll see you next week. Thank you very much.